Welcome back to another FIFA 19 career mode video. Today we are taking a look at some things that don't make sense in FIFA 19 career mode. I'm going to be using a few clips and suggestions that you guys have been sending in for the Things We Hate series, and I think you're going to enjoy this episode. And if you do enjoy it, remember to hit the thumbs up button. Let's get to 500 likes, and if you're new around here and you want to see more episodes like this, hit the subscribe button today and the notification bell, and you won't miss anything. Like I said at the start, this episode is going to be based on what you guys send in for the Things We Hate series, so if you have any bugs and glitches in career mode, make sure you send the clips in to me so I can put them on the list and showcase them in the future. The best way to leave your suggestions and clips is through YouTube comments or Instagram DMs and Twitter as well. So this first one comes from Mania Alexander, and they didn't supply a clip, but they just gave me a suggestion, so I'm going to have to create the clip. They basically said when you loan out a player, you should be able to see the stats like goals, matches played, and clean sheets. So we're going to actually do the clip now, and I'm going to show you what he means. So we're 6 months into a career mode. I've gone into the squad hub now because I have a few players on loan. I want to see how they're doing. The problem is you can't check their stats for the competitions they're playing in. The game only lets you check the stats on competitions that you're currently in. So if the player on loan is not in any of those competitions or they're in a different league altogether, you're not going to see any of their stats. So we're going to go through a few players. We have Dean Henderson, who is a goalkeeper, out on loan, and there's no stats I can check because he's playing for Sheffield, who's not in the Premier League, and they haven't done any FA Cup or Carabao Cup games. We have another goalkeeper, O'Hara, no stats there. Joel Pereira, no stats there because he's gone to some Spanish club, I think. We have a bit of luck with Fosu Mensah because he went to Fulham, which is a Premier League club, so you can see there he's played 10 games. So that one is a good one. Twanzebe, gone to Aston Villa. All we get to check is his Carabao Cup games because he plays in the Championship, so that doesn't help me at all. And this one's another one, Borthwick Jackson. Can only see his Carabao Cup and FA Cup games. So you get my point. Like, it doesn't make sense that we can't see all the stats for the competitions they play in. I don't know why this is even a thing. I don't know who thought this was a good idea when they were programming this or putting this into career mode in the first place. But we should be able to see the competitions that the player plays in, not the ones that our team is currently in. Because when you loan out these players and they go to a different country altogether, there's no Premier League, there's no Carabao Cup, there's no FA Cup. And if they don't play in the Champions League, you ain't going to see none of their stats. It's all going to come up as 0, which does not help you when you want to check the progress of loan players. This next one comes from Max, and I was laughing when I saw the clip, but the player asked for a rest. Max gave him the rest, and then the next day, he complains about his game time. So this is something you have to see to believe. So on the 4th of December 2022, Kieran Dow does his little email. He says, Gaffer, I'd really like to sit out the next game. I'm not feeling sharp, and I could do with a few days rest. Max gives him the rest, and after the game you get the email, thanks for listening boss, you're a good man, that's going to help me recharge for the rest of the season. But then the next day, on the 5th of December 2022, Kieran Dow emails the boss and says, Boss, when I signed my contract with this club, you made me certain promises with regards to my role here, but I do not feel that currently you are fulfilling those. Mate, the day before you asked to be left out of the squad, you needed a rest, and the day after you start complaining that you didn't play yesterday and the contract is not being fulfilled properly. Like, it's either one or the other, mate. Like, this is just summing up career mode perfectly. It's like, you can't even explain it. You have to see it to believe it sometimes. Next up, we have your typical career mode bug. This one was from Dunny C101. It says, Kevin De Bruyne is now a defender to watch in 2021. So let's take a look at what it says. Obviously, this is a tile from the news section. It says, defenders to watch in 2021. Winning trophies is not possible without a strong, resilient defense. The performances of these top defenders helped their team succeed last season. So apparently these are top defenders. Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne is a stalwart at the heart of Man City's defense, earning a reputation for stopping strikers in their tracks. Never knew a midfielder stopped strikers in their tracks, but apparently they do now in career mode in 2021. So obviously it's just a bug, but these things shouldn't be happening. Next up, we have a suggestion from AFC Gooners. Managers should have contracts rather than yearly renewals. And I think this one makes sense because in the real world, you know, when a manager signs for a club, they're usually given 3 years or 2 years, depending on their caliber and how good they are. Sometimes they get an interim stage as well. And currently in career mode, it's basically year by year unless you get sacked in the middle of the season. So at the end of the season, you'll get a note saying you either did well or you did bad, and you're either sacked or you go on for another year. This is not very realistic because, you know, I'll give Mourinho as an example. He has 3 years when he first signed, and then he renewed halfway through his contract for another few more years. And there's also like a payout clause, so if he gets sacked earlier, they have to give him a couple $1 million just to get rid of him early. And there's also a few other things in his contract probably as well. So I think rather than it go year by year, I think EA should spice it up a little bit, make it more realistic, and have managers go into like a board meeting when they first start career mode to discuss how many years the length of the contract is going to be. Maybe they start as an interim manager as well. They give them like 4 months. If things aren't good, they'll get rid of them. But I think that would be pretty cool because it's much better than doing yearly renewals. You could also discuss things like your weekly wages. And when it's time for renewal after your contract has been completed for like 2 or 3 years and you need to discuss a new one, you can choose to leave the club, go to another club, or maybe continue on for another 2 or 3 years. Maybe halfway through your term, if you're doing a really good job, you can renew for another 1 or 2 years as well, just like a player would. So just basically add contract negotiations for managers. The next thing that doesn't make sense comes from George, and he doesn't like the fact that you can't do buyback clauses in career mode. Now this would be a mad feature I think to have in career mode because you could do some very good business deals with the buyback clause feature. So basically a buyback clause feature is like when you sell a player to another team, you can put a buyback fee in there, which is the price that you can pay in the future if you want to get this player again because maybe he's having a great season or he becomes the best player in the world after 2 or 3 years. And as I was researching the buyback clause, I stumbled upon a Reddit thing where they were talking about buyback clauses in FIFA, and one bloke wrote it's probably better that it's not in the game because it would be too broken when you think about it. So basically you could sell 94 potential youth players for buyback clauses of 2 million and then get them back when they're in their high 80s, and you can sell them off for big profits. Now obviously you can abuse the system, like the way FIFA's potentials and that work at the moment, you can definitely abuse the system because basically everyone knows the potentials of players. The only way this could work properly without being abused is probably if potentials were based on like form during career mode, so that would change a few things. But of course, you know, if you want to do good business deals, you do what you want to do, like rinse and repeat the process of knowing the players with 90 potential, sell them off early, get them back in 5 years. So I don't know, people want to see it, some people don't want to see it. It can be abused, but it's all up to you at the end of the day whether you want to abuse it or not. Next up we have a pretty funny thing from Taz, and there's no names for his youth players. So he did a scout report and the youth players came up with no names, as you can see on the screen there. So basically I asked him whether the no names appear on the pitch and stuff. He goes, there's no names on the pitch or even on the back of the shirt. So these guys legitimately have no names at all. I guess a lot of people at the moment are complaining that the names don't match the nationality, and at least this one doesn't have that issue because the players have no names at all. Next up we have another bug sent in by Carlos, and apparently a Barcelona player wins the Bundesliga Player of the Month. So you can see Alcacer getting the award there, and the Barcelona logo is there, but then you have the Bundesliga logo on the trophy and in the background as well. So I asked him what happened, and he said that Alcacer was on loan at Dortmund, and the game I think got confused when he returned to Barcelona and he won Player of the Month. Next up we have something from FIFA Career Star. He said his player won the League One Player of the Year, and he wasn't in the League One team of the competition. So let's take a look. So in the news section, a tile comes up and says the League One player of the competition has been announced as being Montpellier's Courtois, I think his name is. And then you get the team of the competition tile that says that it's been announced, and that Courtois guy is nowhere to be seen. So you would think that if you're good enough to be the player of the year, shouldn't you be good enough to be in the team of the year as well? It just doesn't make sense, EA. Like, if you're the best player in the whole league, how are you not in the team of the competition? Next up, we have something from the man from the Orient. So he says another annoying thing is that a team loses 5-0, scores 1 goal to make it 5-1, and they celebrate as if they won the World Cup. Have you ever played career mode or any gameplay in general and noticed this? It doesn't make sense. Sometimes you see it and you think to yourself, why is he celebrating? Like, they got to score another 7 goals to win the game. And it's sort of a gameplay issue, but in career mode you play a lot of games, so it's sort of relevant. So remember, if you want to keep this series going, make sure you send in your bugs and glitches and stuff like that so I can put it on the list and we can have a few laughs together as well.